Samantha from JSMA Tutorials here, and today I'm going to show you a fun way to create a 3-tile polymer clay earring. So to start with, you're going to want to pick your colours, and in this case I'm working with Primo, and I'm working with Primo Turquoise, Primo Butter Yellow and Pale Green, and you can use any colours that you want. Now I want you to take each of those colours and just split them into 4, roughly anyway. And I am using about 1/4 of a 2-ounce block of Primo. Okay, and then I'm going to take 2 of these and I'm going to mix it with the yellow. Then I'm going to take one of them, take one of them, and I'm going to mix that with one of those. I'm going to take this and I'm going to do the same thing. Pop that together, and then I'm going to take this, and I'm actually going to grab a little more of the yellow, probably about the same amount as one of these, and just mix that together, roughly speaking. And then what you're going to do is you're not going to mix this through the pasta machine. For each of these groups, just grab those and put them to the side. And what you're going to do is you're going to take that group of clay and you're just going to chop that up. And this is why I've got it straight off the block of clay, because I don't want it to be too warm. I want it to just chop up nicely into little pieces, like so. Okay, then take that, once it's all kind of in tiny little pieces, and just smooth it together so that you mix the colours together, and then take that and form it into one piece of clay. And this is the process that you would repeat for all of the other little piles of clay that we've got. You're just going to take that and form that into one piece of clay, and you can use your roller and just roll that out into a rough rectangle, because we're going to stack all of these pieces on top of each other. So it's basically going to be like a pixeled Skinner blend, which is quite a fun effect. Alright, and that's pretty much what you want. So repeat with the other 4 combinations. Okay, and there we go. And here are all of the pieces done. And what you're going to do is you're just going to take that and you're just going to stack them. Nice and simple. And that is going to be the foundation of the cane. Then you're going to take that and you're going to press that all together into a solid piece of clay. So you can use your roller to do that as well, so you can compact everything together, because remember this stuff hasn't been conditioned really, so it's going to be a little stiff to work with, but that generally ends up giving a better pixel effect. And just continue doing that, and you can see as I'm doing that I am also reducing it, so I'm lengthening out the log of clay, because I want to cut this in half and press it together so that I can make those pixel shapes even smaller. Take this, cut that down the middle, and you can see there how it looks. Take that and I'm going to place that together just about, and then I'm going to form that back into a square shape, and then from there we can cut out what we need to make the veneer. Okay, and you want to make the cane about the same size as the cutter you're going to use to cut your pieces out. So depending on what cutter you're using, that could be bigger, smaller, a square, rectangle, it's completely up to you. Then after I've done that, I'm actually just going to cut halfway through so that I get the nicest image possible. Just pop that to the side, and I'm going to cut out 4 pieces that are about the same thickness as one another. and that thickness is roughly about 1 millimeter thick, I'd say, maybe even 2 millimeters. Thick enough that it can just be the earring on its own, because I want this to be double-sided. And then for each of those I'm going to take that and I'm going to either put it so it's facing so that the green is together, or you can pop it together so that the blue is facing together. And I think I like that the best, so that's what I'm going to do. This one's not thick enough, so let me cut out another one. There we go. And this is going to be for each pair of earrings. There we go. Okay. And then I'm going to bring over a piece of paper. I'm just going to grab these. I'm going to place them on the paper. Make sure they're fairly separate from one another. And then grab another piece and you're going to burnish this together. And this is just so the slices stick together. It's also to... this will even them out as well, so if one is a little thicker than the other, this does a decent job of getting them all to about the same thickness. And just in general gives you a nice smooth finish, because we're making a pair of earrings, so it's going to be double-sided automatically. So I want the back side to have a nice smooth finish, which the paper can give quite easily. And this is just regular printing paper. Right, lift that up and check that it is good and clean. I need to do that a little more, but also I can see that I've got a few imperfections on the front. Like, I believe this is cat hair over here, so I'm just going to take the opportunity to lift that off. And there's a little black spot over there, because I don't want that. And then there are some gaps where the clay is not completely together, so make sure that you've burnished those as well, because those will show up later on. There's no sanding those out. And we can't anyway, because I'm going to apply gold leaf to the surface. So make sure it's nice and smooth and clean before moving on to the next step. Okay, and at this point they already look quite nice. You could just cut these out as they are if you wanted to, but I'm going to add an extra layer to them. And for that I'm going to use some metal leaf. Use any colour that you want. I'm going to be using gold. I'm just going to take that and gently apply that to the clay, and don't worry, we'll see the pattern. It's not going to cover it up completely. And just burnish that down onto the surface. Okay. And then trim around that so that you remove the extra leaf, and then take that and apply that to the other one, and then trim away that extra leaf as well, and then you can pop that into the little leaflet that it came in. Okay, and there we go. Then make sure this is properly stuck down onto the clay. If you need to give it a burnish, you can. And then from there you're going to take any kind of leaves that you want. I've actually just gone and picked out some little weeds that I found in the garden. Mostly ones, I went and looked for ones that kind of remind me of palm branches, because I'm going for a tropical theme today, but you could use any that you want. Just go and look for some nice leaves and place those down on top of the metal leaf, like so. And then do the same for the other one. Okay, then gently place a piece of paper over the top, keeping them in place, and give them a thorough burnish down, because you want to get them stuck down as best you can. The metal leaf is going to act as an anti-stick, so just be careful because it will unstick very easily. But this is just to get it stuck down as best you can. Okay, and then lift that up, and I'm quite happy with that. Alright, then bring over a piece of tape. And I would advise doing them each one at a time. You want to take that tape, and it needs to cover the entire surface, and you want to stick that down, and you only want to stick it down one time. Take that and smooth over the whole surface. You've only got one try at this, because what this is going to do is it's going to pick up the metal leaf on the surface, and it's also going to pick up the leaf at the same time, but it will leave the metal leaf under the leaves, if that makes sense. So you want to make sure that you get it in one go. So spend some time really making sure that you get that tape stuck in all the little grooves around your leaf, like so. And then before I lift this, I'm probably going to do the same for this one as well. Okay, then pick up one end of the tape, and I am on a piece of paper, so it's a little awkward, but that's fine. Just pick that up and lift. And that will lift the tape off, and it will take the metal leaf with it. And it is a little bit on the high usage side of things when it comes to metal leaf, but I think the results speak for themselves. There we go. And then repeat that process with the other one, lifting up the tape. And taking the leaf with it. And then if you have, oh gosh, what do you call it? Any of the leaf left, you can just take a blade and lift that up. That's easy enough to do. Don't lay the tape back down and try to lift them up that way, because you will end up removing the tape, the metal leaf that is on the clay. Okay, then you're going to take a piece of paper again, and you're going to give that a very quick burnish. You can skip the step if you want to and retain the texture, but I want it to be nice and flat. Okay, but I don't want to do it too much because I don't want to crackle the leaf more than it's already been crackled. Okay, and that should do. There we go. And there you go, you've got a nice leaf impression. Okay. Then you're going to grab your cutter of choice, and you're going to pop that down where you like it. Press. And this shouldn't stick in the cutter because it's been on the paper for a fair bit. And I want to cut as close to the first one that I cut out as possible, because this needs to be kind of a continuing image, like so. And then repeat with this one. Okay, and there we go. Then grab a piercing pin and just pop a hole into place. And it does not need to be a perfect hole, because I'm going to end up widening that out later. But basically all I'm doing right now is making sure that they line up as best I can. Oh gosh, I get shaky fingers whenever I do this. There we go. So that when I do put the jump rings into place, they meet up properly. And that can be done with a pin drill later on if you wanted to. But I find that it's easier to just at least make the markings now. Okay, and then there's going to be a little hole up here, so I'll just pop that in as well. That's for our ear wire, and I might as well just place that there. Right, and this will have distorted it a little bit, that's why I don't tend to do it all that much. So just go in with your blade and just smooth in any kind of bumps that might have been created with the piercing pin, because again the holes don't have to look perfect at this point. They'll get properly smoothed out later. Right now it's just more of a guide hole than anything else. Alright, then I'm going to leave it on the piece of paper, and I'm going to bake this for a full hour at Primo's recommended temperature. Okay, and here they are out of the oven, and you can see they're completely double-sided as well, which is always nice. Now at this point I am going to varnish them using Varnishing polyurethane water-based gloss varnish, and I am not going to worry about the holes at the moment, because generally the varnish gives me a little bit of trouble when it comes to any holes that I may have on the piece already. And will pull in them, so generally I will save drilling the holes until after I have allowed the varnish to dry, so I would suggest waiting. But yeah, you'll just pop a coat of varnish on both sides of the earrings, and if you want you can apply 2 coats. It definitely gives a glossier finish if you do that. Leave about 15 minutes between coats to allow them to dry, and then yeah, then we can drill the holes and assemble the pieces. Okay, and once they're dry, this should be the result. A nice shine. Now of course you could put resin on these as well if you wanted to. Just bear in mind that the resin will make the piece quite a bit thicker, so if you do plan on adding resin to your piece, I would actually advise making it at least 1/3 thinner than what it is right now, because otherwise you're going to have trouble with the jump rings. Now once it has finished drying, grab a pin drill and you're just going to go back through those holes, widening them out and getting rid of any varnish that may have pooled in the crevices, and just cleaning them out and making way for the jump rings. Now I am making earrings today, but this technique could be used to create a bracelet as well, because you're basically linking tiles together. So if you want to make a bracelet or even a choker necklace, that could work as well. So don't feel like you have to make earrings if you don't want to. There we go. And then I've got 2 jump rings here that are to link the tiles, and then another jump ring for the connection for the earwire. Okay, I'll just open those up. And all you do is you take that, slip it through, grab the next connecting tile, and slip that through too. That can be a little tricky, just give it a moment. There we go. And close that up, and then like to slip that little open part of the jump ring into the holes so that they don't show up. And then you're going to repeat that process with the other jump ring. And you can see how if you had made 2 holes on the other side of the tiles, you could continue linking as many tiles as you want. And that's how you would create the bracelet. And it could make quite a nice bracelet. Let me know in the comments below if you would be interested in me making a bracelet using this technique, because we could use it with a more continuous image. This image is a little disconnected. It doesn't need to have this technique where you have the tiles joined together, but for instance we could do a faux paint pouring technique and have like a continuous fluid art painting going across the tiles. That could look quite cool. So let me know in the comments if you'd be interested in that. But yeah, that is pretty much it. That is how you would create the pair of earrings. And I have already done the other one, so let me just bring that over. And there's the other one. But yeah, if you liked the video, please do consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below and I will answer them as soon as possible. And if you'd like to support the channel so I can continue creating videos just like this one, please do consider becoming a member. There is a join button just below this video, or you can become a patron. There is a link to that in the description below as well. And they're both exactly the same, where I post videos of more complex tutorials than the ones that I show on YouTube. But yeah, it's a great way to support the channel and is greatly appreciated. And again, I do hope that you enjoyed. I certainly did. Remember, all of the techniques shown in today's video can be used separately. They don't have to be used exactly in this project, so feel free to break them down like Lego pieces and make your own projects if you want to. But yeah, I do hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.